or show you obviously cross-platform, and you can use it also to file bug reports for even proprietary software. So let's get started. Now, before we begin, I'd like to implore you to subscribe, like, follow, and leave comment, because when you do that, the algorithm sends out the content to more viewers, and those viewers can join this growing community, post their tips and tricks, or they can actually post requests, which I'll go and do a little research, and then I can share with every single one. I share everything. There's no secrets here. Okay, now on to the intro, and you can see I got it. It's basically very simple how to report bugs properly. Very simple. Let's get started. Okay, so this is just a thumbnail to show you how to, obviously you might encounter bugs. Obviously no programmer wants to purposely put bugs in their software or applications, but things do happen. And I'll show you sometimes I'll show you in this particular case, in that when you actually report a bug, especially if you do just a little search, you can actually improve the application. And I'm going to show you two examples of that, the bugs I found. One is actually a little bit older. One is actually one I found not too long ago, actually. It was this year, I think maybe a month or so ago. And I'll show you the status update and what you can do to actually improve software. So you don't always need to, you don't have to be a programmer, but if you're able to file bug reports, you can actually make the developers life a little bit easier as well, because especially for open source software, it's usually the developers are volunteers, or the contributors are volunteers, so that helps a lot. So basically, you need, the best option is to file a high quality bug report. I'm going to show you, I said, two real world examples that I did myself. So if you don't know what a bug report is, it's one of the most valuable contributions that users and developers can make to software projects. A well-written bug report, that's the key there. It's a well-written bug report, helps developers understand issues quickly, reduces repeated questions, and greatly increases the likelihood of a fast and accurate fix. So I'm going to show you now, before you guys say, oh, because Edward, you're a developer, you know how this works. So no, it's not, because I'll show you that when you actually go look at some of those bug reports, you're going to see that other people also do file bug reports, and they do get fixed. So as long as you can clearly communicate what the issue is, that is the most important part. And sometimes even the developer might not be able to fix it. They can ask for contributions or can ask for help. It's not like they don't want to, it's just that they just don't have time, especially they want to maintain things, which is difficult. But I'm saying there are things you can do to help as well, and I'll show you that as well, so don't worry. So as I said, I'm going to show you two world examples. One of them is in Apache NetBeans. This one is a pretty easy one because I use Apache NetBeans as my preferred IDE. I even just created a video very shortly explaining why I do use Apache NetBeans, and you guys hopefully understand why. Yes, I know there are faster IDEs, text editors, and stuff, but when it comes to open source, Apache has just been fantastic for me. Apache NetBeans, no issues. And I also use Netscape as well. I do my thumbnails. I usually use Netscape for that. I just love the vector, especially for the text. You can squeeze it, you can blow it up. It's just nice to just grab one corner and you can resize it that way. It's just so nice. Just visually, very quickly, you can get thumbnails done. So that's what I use. Okay. So why writing a good bug report matters? So if you give a vague statement such as an application crashed, is rarely helpful, right? Because somebody cannot replicate something if you're not specific. So developers need specific and reproducible information in order to diagnose and resolve problems. So what some people do is some people also film it, and then that way, if they missed something in the writing, the developer, anybody can watch it and say, oh yeah, the person did this first, and then that happened. So that's another bad idea. But I'm saying writing it is better because Some people might not have the, for example, a developer might be using maybe a pure terminal. They might not have, say, a video editor or whatever. So I'm saying pictures and videos are not bad. I'm just saying that when you describe it, it's easier for people as well to do that. So high quality bug reports improve software stability and strengthen collaboration between the users and the maintainers. So what are the best practices for filing a bug report? So you can check, this is very, very, very important. Believe it or not, it's probably one of the most important thing after obviously writing a bug report. It's checking for an existing bug report, because others might have written the bug report, or it's very not similar, but it might already exist. So it doesn't make sense, for example, if you open up a bug report when there's already 2 or 3 which are exactly the same before. So you're better off maybe just commenting on that one. Maybe you have new information you can share instead of writing a new bug report. Now, sometimes you might see a developer might say, no, that's something different. Please open a new separate bug report. Then go ahead and do that. What I'm saying is, a lot of time is the bug reports are usually the same. If you actually go look at most bug reports, they'll say, oh yeah, this is being closed because somebody already opened it before. So I'm saying is that's a waste of time for the developers, because they do read them. So I'm saying that if you just keep in the original one, you can add a comment, whatever. Even sometimes you can write something like, oh, is anybody working on this, or do you need help, or something? Yeah, just something like that, just to get them to resolve it. So before creating a new issue, search the project's issue tracker to see if the problem has already been reported. This avoids duplication and may view existing workarounds or fixes. That's super important. Okay, so for example, I'm going to show you this Apache NetBeans. So I was using Apache NetBeans, and I was using a Git in Apache NetBeans. Then all of a sudden, I think I upgraded to some Fedora version, and because Fedora always uses, pretty much very up-to-date software packages. So it was using one of these packages. It's called JSCH. So this package it was using was very outdated. It has been updated in a very, very long time. And the original company, I think it's JCraft, they're the ones who were maintaining this library. They just basically abandoned it. They didn't put a word out or anything. So what happened was NetBeans kept on using this package, and then what happened was the library. What's the name of that library? Is it OpenSSH? I think it's OpenSSH. Yeah, OpenSSH. They just made a small little change in that instead of, I think they used to have when you create the key pairing, they just changed it to, I think before they were just using something generic, calling it like OpenSSH. No, they were just calling it SSH or something like that. So they changed it to say OpenSSH. That's all it did. That's all they changed. And then that broke this, so this wouldn't work anymore. The Git part didn't work, so that's when I decided to file an issue, and I'll show you that. Don't worry, we'll talk about that later. So another option is to include system specifications, especially now that it's not just the x86 and AMD 64. Now you have ARM and you have other processors coming, so that's also important, because it might be maybe some math issue or something that's specific to that CPU, or maybe you don't have enough memory. So all those things are important, because the developer might not have your exact system, so they cannot replicate your issues. But I'm saying if you have something, for example, I use Fedora 43, so maybe they're testing on an older library. So that's important to also to notice as well, because it might be just specific to my particular use system. So that include details such as the operating system, application version, and architecture when available, and explain what happened and what should have happened. So this is also important. For example, I'll show you the Inkscape one. Inkscape one will probably blow your mind. And you will see. So so sometimes this is very, very simple to do. So for example, I will get into the Inkscape one. So the Inkscape one, all I want to do was close the program. That is all I wanted to, just close the program. Not save anything, just close. And it crashed. That's simple. You can easily explain what happened there. It just opened and you close and it crashed. That's a very simple thing to explain. For example here, I explained here. So when I opened up an AVIF file, I did some edits, and then I exported it, so that worked. And then I just needed to close, just normal. You don't know, I no longer need the program. I closed it, and that's when it was crashing. So this was very consistent, because I thought, oh, maybe the AVIF file is too big, it's too small. No, it was consistent. So that's pretty easy to reproduce. You just write that. And I'll show you the bug report as well. So the example steps: launch Inkscape, open an AVIF image file, close the file, exit the application. It crashes. Nice and simple. That's it. That's literally how to reproduce it. And it's still, so we'll get into that in a second. I'll actually show you what. And if there's any logs or screenshots or screen recordings, I said that's important. Visual evidence and logs can drastically reduce debugging time. Screenshots, crash logs, and short screen recordings often reveal details that the text alone cannot capture. That's what I was saying. Sometimes you might miss some things which a video obviously can capture. Okay, and then here, so I do have this issue here for Inkscape. We'll open that up as well, and I'll show you how this was resolved. So let's go here. I'll open this to up. I'm not gonna so as I said, let's just jump to the final tips. So for writing better bug reports, focus on the observable facts, use precise language, and follow the project's issue template when available. Updating a report with new findings is often just as valuable as an issue submission. Okay, so I'll show you this one as well, but I want to go back to this one here. I'll show you this issue. This is the NetBeans one. It has been resolved long time ago. And then if you're using, so I took some screenshots here to show you what the bug report does. You see that I have a sample AVIF file, and you see what happens. Yeah, so I'll show you all this later. And we are live right now. By the way, we're live on Rumble, BitChute. Oops. Oh, where's my mouse? Where's my mouse? I can't. There's a glare here. Where's my mouse? Oh, there we go. Okay, so that's to prove that we're live on BitChute, Rumble, Odyssey, and obviously YouTube. Okay, so I'm gonna stop right there. Perfect. So let's go check out this one that I opened up. So you see, I opened this one in 2022. That is almost 4 years ago. So at the time of this recording, so you can see it says outdated JCraft JSCH library causes incorrect credentials for remote Git repository. So this one, before you criticize me, hold on, I'll explain. So this one, although I did search the Git and it did not exist, it actually did exist in their old bug tracker. However, because they had mentioned that they had moved away from the old bug tracker, they were going to GitHub. I realized that because my first instinct was to add information to the tracker that was open on the old system. Then I realized that nobody's reading that, so then that's why I decided to open up this issue in this one. Now, my information, I did some research and I found I knew how this can be resolved, so I provided that information. So if we actually read this, say I was using NetBeans 12.6. Right now I'm using NetBeans I think it's 28. So obviously this is a while back. So you can see it was originally, I didn't originally report this. It was actually originally reported. So I mentioned that. So you see here they were using this thing called Jira. So let's actually go there. You see the person opened this issue. So this person opened this issue. I think they should have a date here somewhere. Yeah. So they actually they came across this issue in 12.5, right? So 12.5 and 12.6. See, they opened it up it says here it was opened in December 2021, right? So you have to remember that is 1 year before I filed mine. So just be careful, just be aware of that. So this person is saying, when I tried to do a git fetch from our Git server, I received the following error, blah, blah, blah. So you can see, and when I use NetBeans 12.4, the git fetch also works without the save password. So clearly something changed, right? So then the person explains, he puts the log, the message logs here as well. And then if you actually look at the comments, other people had the same issue in December 2021. And then you see in January when it started affecting me, I added this note as well. But because I had done some research about this issue, you see, I provided references. So, example, how to fix the issue. Basically, this JSCH, it's without the SSH RSA. That, remember, I told you it was just something very simple there. So this person basically decided to start maintaining the library. They forked it and started maintaining it. So they have updated version, and you see they started doing it in 2020, by the way. And then I found that Eclipse, they decided to move away from this library instead. So I provided, they have a bug. And then for Jared, which is Google, they also decided they disabled the JCraft JCS client library. So I provided that as references. And then after that, on January, yeah, so this person said, not sure if this is related, but if this doesn't seem to be a GitHub repository, but GitHub at least changed some of the authentication interface for this. So another person added something later after me, and then so you can, so if you, that's what I'm saying. So I read this. So what I decided to do is I decided to add some more context later. So I added because I added, so I said I'm running Fedora 35, which is kind of funny because right now I'm running Fedora 43. So as I said, it's a long time ago, and so I added more information, and then I also see I explained what the workaround is. Obviously, just go to the command line, and then I explain what the problem is. See the exact problem. What the problem is. You see, as I said, it begins with what is it? Having OpenSSH private key instead of what it's looking for is the begin RSA private key. So that's one of the issues. So then I gave more information here how this is outdated. For example, if we actually go here, you can see the last time this library was actually updated. You see, in 2018 was the last time this thing was updated. So it's really old, right? And as I said, OpenSSH. So as I said, I gave all the references and all the stuff here how to resolve this issue. And then you see Matthias Plus, he actually added the comment. This is when he fixed it in later. So as I said, when I wrote this, I realized nobody's looking at this because if you actually go up here, you see it says public sign up for this instance is disabled. Go to our self sign up page. So that's not what I'm looking at. There used to be a note here saying that you won't be allowed. Say it's resolved, but I'll tell you how it was resolved. It was resolved in you're not allowed to, obviously they don't use this. They move to Git. It actually explains. I think it should explain it here. Let me go to NetBeans or something. Yeah, say this gadget cannot be displayed. Anyway, they explain that you shouldn't use this. You should actually use GitHub. There's some way where they explain it. So that's why I moved over to. Let me go back there. That's why I moved to GitHub. Oh, so here that's why I moved to GitHub. You see, I opened it in March 4, and it was resolved. So let's go down here and take a look at this. So after I wrote this, I basically copied the stuff over. I also obviously provided the more information. I said the original, it's a repost. It was from, as you can see, months ago before mine. Then what I explained here is how to reproduce. Did this work correctly in an earlier version? Obviously not. I gave my Fedora 35 here, Debian. I was running Debian at that time, and I also so remotely it was Debian 11 and CentOS was 7.9, and my JDK version, the Apache packaging. I explained that I got it from the Apache website, Apache NetBeans website. Anything else, and I said this occurs for every Git push. So I explained more, and I gave the information there. And then what happened was someday here, so MBN, you say thank you for the detailed report. He says, I personally prefer to use the shell, meaning the command line for most Git stuff, but so I never noticed. I'll put it in NetBeans 14 milestone on this, since I think we should try to fix this if there is time interest. So after that, he obviously he removed the default needs triage, and he added Git. So then after that, this person, Matthias Blessing, he added a commit where he actually was able to, he did a pull request and he says he has a test build, so he asked me to test it, which is no problem. Obviously, I was happy to do that. And he says this is what he did for Linux, Windows, blah, blah, blah. So I did test it, and you see I said I tested the dev version and I was able to successfully perform a git push in IDA. And I said this fix should also take care, because what I noticed was, I then realized that it's not just Git that's affected, it's SSH, right? So then when I did some research, I found out there was another project, this one here. Somebody else had opened one. You see this one, it's 3691, mine was 37. So this person had opened out just a little bit before me. So if you go take a look at that that issue, so this person was saying newer SSH key is not accepted for remote synchronization. So that's related, it's related. Even though this person I think was not doing anything Git related, but it's related. So here, this one was NetBeans. You see, opened up November 4th, just a little bit before me. So this person is on Linux and etc. etc. So you see, then Matthias asked this person, "Can you please change? Can you please check basically the test build?" And this person says, "I can perform that. It fixes the issue." See, that's another thing that came up to me. So, and then this person, Neil C. Smith, closed this issue on May 11th. So we go back to, where's my issue here? Here we go. So after that, and then Norris Jeremy says, as the caretakers of the newer JS CH4, please let me know if you have questions about integrating it. And then it says, I'm currently on for the current 13 release, is there some jar files I could download and replace to make the push work? Person said yes, it is just to use the RC, meaning RC means it's very close to being released, but it just it's a release candidate, if you don't know what that means. And then obviously you can go read more. Well, he mentioned it in this one when he was actually working on the sorry, is that the one? There was something here. Ned, there's a way I know he mentioned it. Let me see here. The issue references a commit. Oh, the commit. So let me. I think this is the commit. Let's go look at the commit. Yeah, I think this is the commit. Yeah, this is the commit. So, so this is the commit by Matthias. So he explains here, and then you see he explains the changes he made. Or she made, it's a here, by the way. And this person saying unit supposed to ask for unit tests. So you can go read all this. So, but the point is I'm making is that if you create a proper bug report, it will be easier for it to be resolved due to that. As you can see, resolved, and then it can be closed. And you can see the time this got resolved pretty quickly, right? Pretty quickly. So that's obviously for GitHub, you need to obviously log into GitHub to file the report. But as I said, so it hit the milestone, which was on NetBeans 14. So the issue was resolved and perfectly fine. There's actually a note here where somebody actually said you can use a. I don't know if there's another one here as one of the primary characters. Also, you have any questions? I mean, oh, Norris Jeremy. I think there's a part where Norris was saying you can use a newer version, and the person replied, well, they can't use a newer version. It's probably somewhere here. I might have yeah, it's in here somewhere. I can't find it. Oh yeah, see, update. Oh, here's another one. I think this is the one here. Oh no, that's not it. Yeah, NetBeans just this. Did he delete his comment? Oh yeah, here. I did. I read. So I'm one of the primary caretakers of the JSCH fork, and want to point out that 0.2.0 is the most recent release. And then Matthias replied, I noticed that, but they are already breaking changes in 0.20 explicitly states that algorithms are disabled. If someone makes a clear case for 0.20, I can bump it. So there we go. That's what I wanted to tell you. So that's how you and you said this was from years ago. Now let's go to the next one, which is Inkscape. So I'm going to show you this with Inkscape. I need my AVIF. I think it's in pictures. I did create a test AVIF. Where in the world is it? downloads maybe? Oh, here, I created a test AVIF file. So we're going to use that that file to test it. So this is just a simple AVIF file. You see, it just has you know, it just I just created it in GIMP very quickly and exported it in GIMP. It's just a simple AVIF file, and I just use the texture, but it just has to be an AVIF file. And just to show you, I'll go to image properties. You see, it's an AVIF format, and it's a 512 by 512. That doesn't matter, but I'll show you what happens. So let's open up Inkscape. Excuse me. I'm just going to open up a brand new document. Okay, I'm going to resize this so you guys can see. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just it doesn't have to be perfect at all. So here's Inkscape. So let's say you're working on something like I was doing. So you drag in the AVIF file, right? Then obviously I'm going to link it. You can embed, but so just link it. So you do your stuff. You know, it works. Whatever you're doing, you know, you add things here, text, whatever. That's not the tutorial. The tutorial is, so you finished. You go to you file export, or you export from the here export whatever. So you export. Obviously, you see it doesn't natively. So you can't export an AVIF file. You can export PNG, obviously SVGs, PDFs, JPEGs, optimized PNGs, TIF. WebP, there should be, yeah, JPEG is there, yeah. So those are the ones. There's also WebP, WebP. There we go. I don't know why I repeated myself. So those are the formats. So now, I said like I don't mind using WebP or something else. So let's say I'm done, right? I'm done my whatever I'm doing. Then I want to close the program. Now, obviously you can close by clicking the X here. Let's go here. We'll go to File. Oh, by the way, let me show you what version of Inkscape this is. It's version 1.4.2, that's the one in Fedora, but I think when I had 1.40 or 1.41, it was still the same issue. Okay, so as you can see, that's the version I have. So we go to File and quit or close, it doesn't really matter. So I'll quit. Okay, without saving, that's true. Yeah, I close without saving. So this is what happens. You see it crashes, right? It crashes here. This is the bug. But however, it doesn't just crash. It does two things. So if you remember, the reason I was in my home folder here, it does two things. It creates some weird thing here. Oh yeah, see, this is what it does. It creates this. It creates this. It creates this every single time. So I'm not going to delete this one now, but you see, this is what it does, and then it explains. It does all this weird stuff in here, and obviously this is the entire bug report. So you can see I'm running Fedora Linux 42. This is the bug report, and it shows what's going on. So in case you missed it, so I press OK. Okay, so remember this file here. Let's open up Inkscape again. Okay, so Inkscape, I'm going to click a new document. Okay, so again, I'm just going to resize this just to show you that no matter how you quit, where was it, downloads? Yeah, downloads. So just open up a file here, link it, and then I can just go to close. It doesn't matter how you close it. So this time, I think I went close. This time I'll go quit, close without saving, and you see it's the same thing. It crashes again. You see that? Now, if you go back to the home folder, you see it created another one of those weird these folders here with this weird encoding. So it does that. So it basically is kind of it's the same thing. So now when we do this, before we go to the Inkscape and file a bug report, I'll tell you in GNOME there's something else that comes up. I'll show it to you here. So two things happen. it invokes two things. So you see, the first thing that happens is there's this Inkscape. Obviously, Inkscape crashed, true, and also crashes GNOME. That's why it creates these two things. So it does two things. So I think this. Oh no, this is a different one. This one is used. Sorry, I apologize. So Inkscape. You see Inkscape. Then you can click on details, and it tells you here how Inkscape crashed and blah 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 blah, all this stuff. So obviously this is so I thought it was two bugs, but it's actually just the same bug. So I didn't bother. I did file one here with using this AB. It's a reporting tool for GNOME. So what you do is you can click report, and then you see it will generate a backtrace, and then you can put this in Bugzilla, but I don't need that, so I'm just going to close that, and I'm going to delete this as well. So so watch what happens. I open this for a reason. Watch what happens. So I want to delete this too, obviously, because I don't need them. So if I click them and I hit the delete key, guess what happens? Oh, okay, that's interesting. It actually moved it to the trash. Before, when I try to delete them, it would actually crash the file manager. So it looks like there's been some improvement. Oh, it looks like my bug report got fixed there. Okay, excellent. So I did file another bug report for that one using that AAB reporting tool. And looks like they did resolve it. So that's the first time I've done. Okay, so that's good. So that part is, I don't know why I'm showing the hidden files. So that bug got fixed. So there we go. That's another reason. So you can simply file a bug report using, it goes to Bugzilla for Red Hat. And that's another way. So that one did get resolved. So that one is a pretty easy one because you don't really need to, you can just click and it will automatically send it to you with your permissions, of course. Now let's go and check the other one. I said the Inkscape one. So this is Inkscape. So you can see with Inkscape we have this one. It says Inkscape crashes after closing the AVIF file. So again, you see it was created by me. So I was saying very simple. What's the summary? You open an AVIF. Well, opening an AVIF works, which as you guys saw, I did it twice. But when closed, the Inkscape will crash. So then I explain how steps to reproduce. Open Inkscape, drag an AVIF file into the workspace, quit or close or quit Inkscape. That's it. And then a pop-up comes up as you guys saw. So I pasted the backtrace here, and then for the system info, I then took a screenshot as you saw that one. I took a screenshot of it, sample include. So I explained. Oh yeah, I was using Inkscape 1.4.2. Oh, so it's the same Inkscape I was using. Yeah, and this was filed in May. Wow, time flies. I didn't realize I was still using the same Inkscape version. Okay, so time flies. So I was using definitely Fedora 42. I'm Fedora 43. So what happened was, so what happens is this person, Carlos, one, he said he also repeated the same issue with the development version of Inkscape 1.5 dev based on the stack trace. I'm guessing some kind of double free or use after free, considering how widely graphics Magick is used. Mistake in resource management or Inkscape side, or conflict interaction with transitive dependency libheif seems more likely than upstream bug in graphics Magick. Okay. So I wasn't sure what the problem is because at that time I was doing my conversions, like when I create the thumbnails again, I would convert them into WebP or convert them to AVIF files. So I was using image Magick, and then around that time sometimes the images would not work. It would give me a black image, it would crash as well. So I thought that might be the issue because it happens. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. I'm saying when there's an update. So I thought that might be the issue, but clearly that wasn't the issue here because if you keep on reading here, he's saying they're attaching AVIF for quiz, but should crash with any AVIF file. I'm not sure why attaching. Okay, anyways, doesn't matter there. It says this person set breakpoints and didn't show anything useful, and I think I identified the mechanism for the crash. So from one side, graphic image obviously C++, has a Magick cleanup class which uses static variable destructors. Anyways, I'll tell you what the problem is. So they figured out that the issue was the order of the way they were going, and then this also happened to help them figure out an issue which basically had been on the side burner for a while. So this is problems like this is why global C++ variables with destructors are usually a bad idea. As a side note, why does Inkscape load AVIF file twice using two different libraries? So I'm saying because I filed my bug report, they were able to find other things that could actually make the program more efficient. Okay, and this person said this seems to be a similar problem to 4723. So this was to do with the font factory, nothing to do with my issue. I mean, at least on the surface. But if we take a look at that issue for the font factory destructor on exit, you see here this one was this one resolved. So this one was open in 2022, and did they resolve this? Looks like mentioned issue. So this is my issue. That's my issue 3 months ago. So it looks like there was a merge for this to resolve this issue, but I guess yeah. So it's basically the fix for this was similar to the fix for this one. They just the way the destructors work. So there you go, and you can follow along with this one in the merge. So let's go check a look at that one. Similar to the NetBeans one, how it was resolved. So you can see here what happened. And so the great thing about this was, could I be the reason why Inkscape 1.5 got delayed? Well, the thing is it will be better because of my bug report. I'm just teasing. Okay, so you can see here, tested with both graphics Magick and image Magick. And then you can see here, you can follow along here. And yeah, so this was merged 3 months ago. So basically, I am not sure what version of Inkscape we have now. Let me go check Inkscape. What version does this guy show the version? So okay, I'm not sure. This is another reason okay. Let me go to the download. I'm not sure what. Hopefully it told me what version. Okay, so it's still 1.4.2. 1.5 hasn't been released. I guess they're still working. So there you go. So this was released in May 12, 2025. That's still the latest version of Inkscape. So obviously there's going to be a bug fix because of me in Inkscape 1.5. You're welcome. All right, so that's basically it. I just wanted to show you that how you can file bug reports and how it helps. And you can see is that my icon there? Yeah, it is. So participants here. So there we go. So what I'm saying is that you don't have to be a programmer. I showed you obviously the other one. I did a whole way more research. This one I wasn't sure what the issue was, but I still filed a bug report. So that's how you file a bug report. Just I showed you exactly what happened and how it gets resolved. So so I said the key is to, when you open up a bug report, obviously search to make sure it doesn't already exist, and because that will help the developers. And then, as I said, I for example, in this one I took a screenshot, the Inkscape one, and I also I also the back trace, I also filed that. Now I was actually this one here. This one I used that ABR, the AB reporting tool, and that one was able to fix that. Because I said before, when I would move things to the trash, even just sometimes just clicking on them, it will always crash. But it looks like that one's resolved as well. So there are ways to file bug reports, and that's the one. The reason I didn't show you the Bugzilla one is because it's a pain in the butt, because you have to click and it has to generate it has to generate everything, and then you have to approve because it might have some personal information, and then yeah, that one is just it's too tedious. So I for that one I also logged in, but I'm saying it also shows my personal information, so that's why I did not I did not do it that way. So some information can be public, but some other stuff I didn't feel like sharing. So that's yeah, because it's private information, so that you don't need to see that. But it did work, and you can see, as I said, it did get fixed. All right, so with that said, let's wrap this up. So let's go, and you can learn more and work with me. So for example, I have programming books available on Amazon. You can search for Erodo Jambo. It help you level up your technical knowledge. These books focus on real-world development debugging strategies and practical workflows. So they're on Amazon. The link is also in the description. I also have programming courses available on ojamboshop.com. The link is also in the description. So you can learn at your own pace. The online programming course, all you need is a web browser. It's a one-time payment, and if you have any queries, questions, you can. I'll show you how you can contact me. Yeah, I'll be able to answer them as well. Each course emphasizes learning, practical debugging, and modern development tools. So last year I used learning Python, learning PHP, and learning JavaScript, and the web IDEs as well. And I did a lot of tutorials using just those ones. Okay, I also have some services for you. For example, if you want one-on-one programming tutorials, if you need personalized help with specific projects, language, or debugging challenges, I'm available for one-on-one programming tutorials tailored to your goals. So you can contact me at ojambo.com/contact. The link is also in the description. And if you need professional consultation services, so this could be, for example, if you want to if you want me to consult for you on what tools will be used for maybe your project, or if you're not sure about an open source tool you want to use, the licenses, I can help you with all of that, including if you want me to do the programming for you, I can do all that for you. So you can the link is also in the description. It's for ojamboservices.com/contact. Okay, now I also have other recommended resources. For example, I live in a rural area. There's no internet and this cellular service is sporadic. So I use a SpaceX Starlink residential service that allows me to have high-speed internet. For example, right now I'm live streaming at the same time to YouTube, Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. And I also use it on my phone for Wi-Fi calling, so that allows me to receive voice calls, text messages, and send them as well, including the multimedia versions, without having to pay roaming charges. And it's fantastic. It's been rock solid. In fact, this is probably the most rock solid internet I've ever had. And that's saying something, because when I was in Toronto, I was using Rogers internet. My goodness, wow. Wow. That's all I'll say. Wow. This has been rock solid. As long as the power is there, it's been rock solid. Okay, I also have so this is my referral link, meaning that if you do purchase this service and use my referral link, I'll get 1 month free, and you'll get a massive discount. For example, right now in Canada, you get the equipment for free. If anywhere else, your geographical location will give you a discount. The type of discount, the duration will be dependent on where you are, but you will get a significant discount. I have an affiliate link for this Honeywell HeatPad personal ceramic heater. It's available on Amazon. I actually do use it. It has two settings: low 170 watts, high 250 watts. So this saved me hundreds of dollars. I'm not joking, hundreds of dollars in heating costs, because as I said, this cabin here, it's heated using propane. So somebody comes and fills up the tanks, and it's expensive because propane is it's only used to heat up the furnace. The problem is it's central heating, which I really dislike. So what that means is that when it's on, like right now it just came on, it will heat up the entire house. Heat up the rooms I'm not in now. It will heat up the living room, the kitchen, the washroom. I'm not there, right? So it should be considered where I am, which is right here. So what I did is I set the temperature on November 1st to 15 degrees. Yes, 15 degrees. I dress warmly, and I use this guy. It's a space heater, meaning that it only heats your personal space. So my personal space is just the desk here. That's all I need, and I pay maybe anywhere from $3 to $4 a month, because most of the time I use low. The only time I use high is if I accidentally click it. So I switch it on maybe 2 to 5 times in an hour, and it's like I said, it's ridiculously I'd rather pay $4 or $5 a month than paying $350 plus for propane. So that's crazy. So it's let me save a lot of money in propane. So you can pick this up. This is an affiliate link, which means that I'll get a commission on every sale, and it's no extra cost to you. Then I have this, the Algorithmic Serpent. It's my first novelette. It's about a scientist who creates an AI system. See there, my name, Editor Jumbo. The scientist then loses his mind, so he has to gain control of his mind in the AI system. So there's also an ebook version. Both are very affordable. You can pick them up and let me know what you think. It's a psychological thriller. And finally, I have the Recession Business Blueprint. This is my latest. It's a guide to help you start a business during a recession. So you can start any type of business, whether it's service-based or goods-based, and then I show you where you can get funds, especially how to start a business leanly, meaning that you do without spending money which you don't have or you don't want to spend. So, for example, one of the things is starting the business from home. Like when I started my business in 2009, everybody was telling me I should go rent. I never rented. I just started the business in the condo where I was living. And then it was only when I moved out of the condo, that's the first time I rented. So I rented an office, and that was the worst time, of course. But I'm saying is that, and then when I moved here, obviously the business stays in the home as well. So you can save significant savings there. I show you how to. There are a lot of examples. It's a table format, and then there's text format. All that stuff is there. For example, budgeting, how to request mentorship. All that stuff is in there in the book, and I'll show you how to also approach people, whether it's your customers, suppliers, or even sometimes even approach your competitors to see where to get an idea of where the industry is going to go. I'll give you an example. Like when I started the business, it was like programming, web design stuff. The contact. So basically, I kept abreast of what was going on in the industry. So, for example, some of the older folks were telling me that, even some of the young ones were telling me I was making a big mistake because I wasn't offering Flash, Adobe Flash. Yes. People tell me I'm crazy not to offer Adobe Flash. Now, I was right in that I said Adobe Flash was clearly not going to work, especially because I was working on Linux and it was always been problematic. So I never offered it. And then the funny thing is, just a few years later, when Steve Jobs badmouthed it, it basically just, and then people were like, oh my God, Edward was right. So I'm saying that I could see those trends. It was pretty straightforward. And actually, when I started the business, there was a huge opportunity in converting Flash sites into regular HTML5, right? So that's basically how my business took off. All right, so this Recession Business Blueprint is available on Amazon. So for all my books, the ebook version, you can get it for free if you have Kindle Unlimited. Okay, if you want to know more about me, there's a blog in every article I write. You can see here, I'm a programmer, software engineer, web developer, and author. You can read more about me here. You can explore my books, the book page on Amazon. If you need support, for consultations, ojamboservices.com. Link is here, as you can see. And if you're ready to learn, ojamboshop.com for the books, the online courses. Okay, and then you can comment. Please keep it related to the Archer article. For example, this one is about bug reports. If you have any tips and tricks, please put them in here. Bad experience, good experience, that's perfectly fine. If you want to contact me, the best way to contact me is use the contact forms, ojambo.com/contact, ojamboservices.com/contact, and ojamboshop.com/contact. If you want to follow me, the channels, Odyssey, Rumble, BitChute, and YouTube. That's it. Alright, now I'm going to put on the outro, and I'll tell you what we're going to do next is, if you want to know what's upcoming, you go to ojambo.com, watch menu, lifestyle menu. You can see this is one I've just finished, how to file a bug report. And then you might notice something interesting. There's now 25th. For 25th, I have BSD license, a post-dated, obviously, article and video, so you guys can watch that. And then when I return on the 26th, we're going to do I'm going to show you how to install Comfy UI 2 ways. And I haven't seen anybody do this before, so we're going to use the Z image turbo image, and I'm going to show you a whole bunch of tips and tricks. So for example, one of this is installed in DistroBox, the other one is installed on your system. However, there's a little twist how it works. And then few days, like the day after that, I will also show you how to run a Rust desk for remote team collaboration. But I'm also going to do a twist. Instead of just simply putting in a Podman container, we're going to use Podman codelets and use systemd. So there's that. And then you can see other stuff that's coming in here. There's some really interesting stuff, including something that... so what I'm going to do is, not tonight, I'm a little bit tired, but probably on the 26th, I'll do a night stream, and that will be probably the thank you for all the subscribers. I'd like to thank again everybody who subscribe, because as I said before, when you subscribe, the more the content gets pushed out by the algorithms, and more people join, they post requests, tips and tricks, which I share with everybody. Thanks everybody. And that will be my thank you on that day as well. I'll probably do a night stream for that to thank everybody. All right, so with that said, I'm going to check the chat, live chats, to see if I can I can read out to people. So I'll tell you Odyssey, nothing there, Rumble, nothing, BitChute, nothing today, and also YouTube, nothing. Okay, that's fine. All right, so I'll see you in 2 days, and yeah, and be sure to watch the BSD license video tomorrow.